I'm Clyde Lewis. You are listening to Ground Zero. This is from Pam. Good point she's making here. Today, I heard many pundits say that Vladimir Putin has alienated so many countries and his own people that he is done as a leader and on the world stage. He'll be tried as a war criminal. He has no way out. Pam says, I think this makes him much more dangerous. He has nothing to lose. He may decide to go out in a blaze of glory and take as many people with him as possible. It is likely the only way to avoid mutually assured destruction is to eliminate Putin before he hits the button. I mean, that's a terrifying thought, that he has nothing to lose. He's done on the world stage. He's been ruined by all this. And but what gets me is we've got 89 million Americans who were polled by Pew Research. And many of them go up the political lines of being left-leaning, saying that, yes, we should go to nuclear war with Russia in order to save Ukraine. And what gets me about this is usually it is the left that opposes war. And now this, I guess this is the right war to be fought, right? And a war where there are a few people that say yes to nuclear annihilation without thinking about mutually assured destruction. It looks like the anti-Russian propaganda has worked on well over 80 million people who want to see nuclear war. It's unclear thinking, ladies and gentlemen. It's like, oh, it's just routine. It's just another day where nukes drop and we'll watch it from the safety of our homes until we hear the whistling rocket heading towards our backyard. Catastrophic events that send the world into turmoil happen on just a typical day, ladies and gentlemen. Just a typical day. It's no big deal for a third of Americans, 89 million. Either they think it won't happen and just said yes to a nuke contest, or just going to see it as a typical day in the war for justice of Ukraine. The atom bomb that exploded over Hiroshima took place while thousands of ordinary folk were just going about their everyday business on just a typical day. A missile attack on a neighborhood in Gaza or a drone attack on unsuspecting civilians in Afghanistan. Death and destruction come like a bolt from the blue as people shop at the local market or take their kids to school on just a typical day. Will it be just a typical day when the next nuclear bomb is exploded in anger? An ordinary day when people are just going about their daily business? By then, it might be too late to do anything. Too late to act or to try and prevent an unfolding global catastrophe on a scale never before witnessed by humans. See, this whole thing just angers me. All of these things being said on the internet, all of these polls where people are saying, yeah, let's go to nuclear war, let's go DEFCON 5, whatever. This should anger you too. When people start saying things like, yeah, let's go nuke, that should anger you. When people say, yeah, let's go assassinate Putin, that should anger you. I mean, yeah, he's a bastard, right? Yeah, okay. If he gets taken out in a firefight, great. But hiring someone, one of ours, to go in and assassinate him? We're not in the business of assassinating leaders, right? Or are we? Again, social contagion experiment. They've manipulated enough people to say the stupidest things ever, including Lindsey Graham, who should know better. And now our even president speaking from his heart, saying that Putin is a war criminal, even though the State Department has to determine that. I see this, I don't know. I guess people say things and they're not thinking when they say it. Or, I mean, is this what they call liberal support for president and vice president? I mean, especially the president and vice president who say absolutely nothing when confronted with the reality of war. I mean, just listen back to what Kamala Harris has said and what she's cackled about. Listen to what Biden says. If he can say anything. I mean, doesn't Kamala and Biden, Joe, don't they bear just as much responsibility as the new Hitler of the day, Vlad the new Impaler? Don't they have any responsibilities, or is just the referees letting it all happen? I mean, how can people be so apathetic and say such stupid things without thinking it through? Is it because we're so wrapped up in a world of gadgets, technologies, shopping malls, millionaire sports players, and big-time sports events To think that such a thing like a nuclear war could be imminent and people would survive it. Better over there than over here, right? But they don't think that in 7 minutes we could all be obliterated by a missile from Moscow. Could any of us even contemplate that on some not too distant day, a series of European cities would be laid to waste within a matter of minutes? Isn't that worth thinking about before we start saying stupid things to Poles? Or is it? This new apocalyptic morality from the extreme left and the amazingly heartless neoconservatives is horribly duplicit. While ordinary people across the world have been subjected to policies that have resulted in oppression, poverty, and conflict, this is all passed off by politicians and the mainstream media as the way things must be. It's just a typical thing. It'll happen on a typical day, no big deal. But hey, nuclear weapons are hanging over us like a sword of Damocles. But we got those billionaire experts that tell us how to live our lives as they push their vaccines and their toys that play war. And what is their goal? The major culling that they so openly talk about, elimination of people, excess death, as good old Bill Gates talks about, the Malthusian. Oh, the excess death, and he smirks. Final solution, and he smirks. And it's the guy we paid attention to with the vaccines, Where's Dr. Fauci? He's missing in action now, isn't he? All these experts, they're now changing seats like musical chairs. But how we want to be all like them, right? That's why we mimic them. If we just follow these experts, maybe they'll help us. Maybe we can have it good for a change. George Carlin, he wasn't joking when he said, it's one big club, and guess what? You're not in it. And stop thinking you are. Stop thinking that if you do what you're told, you're going to be part of their little happy club.